All right, good afternoon, Grace Bible Church family. Time for another midweek update. Doug and Stuart together here at the church. Most of you, our church family, are right here, Northern Virginia. You know the circumstances that we're in. The governor has called this phase one for the Commonwealth. For us here in Northern Virginia, it's about a week out before we officially enter that part of this coronavirus response. For the rest of the Commonwealth, they entered it about a week ago. So haircuts and nail salons and all that good stuff. And phase one also allows churches to meet at 50% capacity, is what the governor had delegated. Before he made that announcement, since he made that announcement, Stuart and I, the rest of the elders, have been meeting regularly, have been in discussions about what does reopening look like. You know that last week we came to you, we put a document on the website that detailed biblical principles that we're trying really hard to hold tightly to as we work through that reopening process, and we hope that you've taken some time to read that document.
Yeah, we got far through the process. We even put together a 10-point handout that was going to go into the hands of those that would be attending on a Sunday morning, so they'd know what some of the process and procedures were going to look like. We even met with the home group leaders and deacons yesterday morning to walk through that document with them. However, despite all of that, the elder team agreed this morning that we think it's best to hit the pause button and wait a little bit longer. There's just been a good struggle. I'm sure you can appreciate with some of the own decisions that you're having to make in your own household, and so same with us. And so we've hit the pause button. We know this is going to disappoint some, maybe relieve others, maybe have little effect on many of you who, for many reasons, children, age, underlying health issues, weren't planning to attend right away anyways. And we understand that. For now, we're going to remain focused on our 9 a.m. online service while the elder team continues to meet and talk and pray and engage with you all in different ways.
So we know you've got questions, obviously. As Stuart said, we've come so close and yet decided this morning to not move forward and to pause. And so I just want to suggest to you there's three things primarily at the heart of the delay that made us come to that decision this morning. One is we want to be really careful about making significant changes to the service that you see online. Obviously, everyone in the congregation right now is using that on Sunday morning as the basis of our corporate worship. We had already concluded that once we do a reopening and we start gathering back in this room, there were going to have to be changes made to the service itself, just to the flow of the service and some of the elements of the service, just things that have to be done differently, at least in this current climate. And so that, in effect, affects then the people who are watching online as well. It changes what they're seeing. And so we just started to wrestle with that because the majority of our people were pretty sure, even when we start early reopening, we'll still be watching online. And so we just wanted to take a step back and think about that and make sure that what we do doesn't diminish either what people are appreciating and what they're gaining from the online service. Not by any sense that that's the ideal. We all know we'd rather be here, but we're just dealing with the reality at this point and trying to be careful.
Yeah, we also want to get more information. As you know, public information and perception seems to change almost daily. And so we're feeling the need to watch, to listen, and to learn more from you as well, our congregation, and from other churches in the area, especially those with similar size and that open in the coming days. And so we'll keep looking for ways to gather more input.
And then the third reason, as the elder team has worked through this process, it has been challenging. We've had a lot of meetings, a lot of discussion. It has to work through each of the details, taken a lot of thought and a lot of time. It's new and difficult territory. Each step of the way, we've come to unanimity, but that hasn't come without just being challenging at times. And we also realize that there's more unknowns ahead, that we're still in the midst of talking about stuff, even now, of what a reopening would look like. There's still things that are in flex as to what's right, what's wrong, what's best, what's not. And so we also had the sense that if we amongst our small group are dealing with these challenges, we don't want to underestimate the fact that those challenges will be felt in the congregation as well, that you and the church family are going to be wrestling with. As Stuart said before, some who are maybe relieved by this, some who are disappointed by this, and everything in between. And so we're trying really hard to think as wisely as we can and to prepare by God's grace to be able to minister in that situation. And so all that's to say, we don't have a set schedule right now. We're going to be here online, 9 o'clock on Sunday morning for the next few weeks, doing it that way for sure. The elder team has a meeting scheduled for next week where we resume taking the information that we're gathering to talk about it. And so we are praying, we are asking God for wisdom, and we're asking you to pray. I know we say that all the time. We mean it. Please keep praying that God would grant us wisdom. And we want to hear from you. We don't say that casually. If you've got concerns, if this decision to pause is upsetting in some way, or you have questions about it, or you just have suggestions, please reach out to us. You know how to get a hold of us. If you don't, go to the website, and there's information there under the Explore tab. You go to elders and staff, and all the elders' contact information. So we really do want to hear from you in this.
Yeah, you may have already been even gotten reached out through your home group leader about even talking about the possibility of opening in your next home group meeting. And those conversations now about pausing, but still just the ideas of opening, may well happen. And if you're in a home group that doesn't have an elder in it, I think Doug and I are wanting and have been reaching out to those home group leaders and want to be able to engage with you guys as well too. So we want to continue to foster conversation. There's a lot that goes into this. And so we want to be wise and careful and just take our time. So just a few brief announcements, and then I think we'll be done. So graduation Sunday's coming up. This Sunday is the time to submit. So about 30-second video, your name, where you're graduating from, what your plan is. About 30 seconds, submit it in to me, Stuart@gbclorton.com. We're going to put together a video that next Sunday then. So I want to encourage you with that. And then home groups. I haven't mentioned this in a while. We did it a lot when we first started entering into this season, but just want to say it again. If you're not in a home group, please reach out to me. I want to be able to get you into a home group. You can also find all of our home groups on the website, and the leaders' information is there. You can contact them directly as well. May seem odd to encourage you to get into a home group in this season, but our home groups are still meeting through Zoom, through email. They're still keeping contact, encouraging one another, praying together. And so I want to encourage you that this is as good a time as any to get into a home group so that you can still experience the joy of fellowship with believers. So I want to encourage you towards home groups.
We're going to finish Acts chapter 5 on Sunday morning. For those of you that read ahead, I try to mention that in the email as well, but just wanted to mention it so that those of you who enjoy reading the passage, I think we're picking up in verse 12, if I remember right, and going right down through the end of the chapter, and again being reminded of how the body is brought together, and God does a wondrous work in that early church, and seeing that and trusting that he has got nothing but good things in store for this body of believers. We're excited about what lies ahead. I know it's a wearisome season at some level, but we've seen God's hand and grace in this over and over again, and we're going to do so, I'm sure, as we move forward. So thanks for watching. We appreciate it.